TV3 New Day, my guest in studio, lawyer Abraham Amalaba. He is the head of NGC's legal team. Lawyer Kwani Janta, private legal practitioner. He is also the head of the Political Affairs Committee of the Convention People's Party. And Hussein Issa is a former member of parliament for the Okaikwe North constituency. He says an economist, a finance person,
accountant,
chartered accountant,
and perhaps a
potential deputy finance minister. I don't know who will kick out if it's John Kumar or Benasai. I don't know.
Please, I didn't say that.
But we're here. You are not saying it. Allow me to say what I want to say. That one you are gagging me.
Charlie, bye.
Okay. Anyway, so let's move away quickly from this conversation and get into the COVID expenses. Amalba, I start this conversation with you. You heard the finance minister after the long wait. What are your takeaways?
I think that the finance minister didn't do justice to the questions that were posed to him. What he came to do was just to give us headline spendings. But I thought that he would have prepared himself, receive returns from the institutions he gave money to, and come and present to us. I'm hearing government officials saying that, oh, we should not call those people. It tells us that what he submitted in Parliament 2 days ago did not meet our expectation. And that's why even government communicators are now saying that, oh, call the spending institutions. You also realize that there were a lot of discrepancies in figures. What the president said in his State of the Nation address about the COVID expenditure is different from what he is saying.
Yeah.
I'm told that the president talked about 17 billion having been spent. He came to say 12 billion. And so we want to know who is speaking the truth. Is it the president or him? And so there are questions there as well. When I heard the debate, when the statements being made, I heard the deputy Abna Ose, finance minister, make the point that the matter has been put to rest and that the minority thought that the finance minister was not going to be able to make any presentation or account. Nobody has ever said that the finance minister cannot account. You see, if the type of accounting that he came to do there is what we expected, anybody can do it.
Oh, how?
Anybody can do it. Just sit down and say, okay, I gave 50 million to Johnny. I gave 10 million to Jantua. You can do that. So that has not put the matter to rest. That's
But there's an appendix to what he presented. So you could find those details in the appendix, some of those, right?
No. What I'm saying is that, for instance, the discrepancies, how can the appendix, address that?
Right.
The discrepancies, you can't. And so, why the minority were pushing for a special committee, or what did they call it?
Ad hoc
committee to deal with this matter is because you heard Atufosu make the point that it should be headed by the minority when he made that request to Mr. Speaker. Now, the reason is that if you have the majority chairing these committees, the power they have, normally they use it to obfuscate the real issues. I'll give you an example of the cash for seats. The cash for seats was a joint committee headed by the majority. You notice that it turned out that the committee didn't agree on certain things and they had to present separate reports because of the conduct of the chairman at that time.
Dr. Ayine was on
Dr. Ayine had to Dr. Ayine had to author a separate report.
And it's so
because of that, that's why we're pushing for the ad hoc committee headed by the minority. Because you can't ask the same people to chair a committee that you are investigating them
There'll
upon.
be a judge in their own course.
Exactly. They will be pulling strings. So I am of the view that the details is what we would need to know. For instance, when you say that you give X amount for Ministry of Education to buy sanitizers, nose masks, we need to find out, Ministry of Education, which schools did you supply them to? Then we need to follow up to find out whether the amount that was given to the Ayalolo School of Primary Schools,
Right.
the amount of equipment sent there commensurate with the amount sent. We need to do a thorough work and detailed work.
That's
on
what the
this matter.
speaker has asked
Exactly.
for the committee.
So the finance minister's presentation did not end the matter and has not ended the matter. It rather gave issues. It rather brought about more issues, and that we need to delve into
the
the matter.
minority seems to be raising a lot of suspicion regarding the COVID accounts. A lot of suspicion that monies may have been spent in the wrong way. Or
It is not the minority alone. Ghanaians have heard a member of the MPP talk about how during the elections, monies were given to her to campaign.
Oh.
And so, if that is how the COVID money was expended, then it raises eyebrows, and Ghanaians need to know.
okay,
At the time, youth in afforestation, at the time, when this group of people, the youth in afforestation group of people, have not been paid for 7 months, at the time when caterers are calling for increases in their feeding allowances for the students. So when you look at the way the monies were spent, and I am shocked, and I don't know why the finance minister didn't touch on the local COVID mobilization, the one that the former Chief Justice,
The trust
right,
fund.
the trust fund.
right, the donations.
The donations. Why didn't he? And he was bold enough to tell the Minister of Parliament that this report is minus that one. Why is that one not part of it? Because it's public funds.
Okay, Husseini.
Let me start off from where
Discrepancies.
he started off. You see, that committee, headed by the former Chief Justice, was created by an Act of Parliament. And if you look at Article 1872, it gives the Auditor General the right to audit all such public funds. So in its time, I am sure that the Auditor General will present its accounts on it. Having
Why
said
do
it,
we have to wait when it's all COVID? Because money were taken from there.
You see, there are types of auditing that happens. We have the internal audit agency. As an accountant, I'll tell you what internal audits are, to ensure that the controls that are set up are actually adhered to, so that you don't commit something or you don't do something wrong before the final audit is done. And so we have different types of audits. And so I made right ab initio some sort of audit started. The internal audit is to ensure that there is a system, there's a
There's no
mechanism
debate
that is
about that.
adhered
I'm
to.
saying that if
No, I'm just saying this to
Who
you.
is the boss of the
Internal audit agency.
internal audit? Who
He's
do they-
called Dr.
wait,
Osai.
wait. Who are they under? Which ministry are they under? Or they are on their own? They are independent.
It's an independent.
They are not under any ministry.
They're not
They
an
don't
agency
report
or
to any
anything.
ministry.
that would be
They
strange.
don't.
I'm not
report to
too
any
sure, but
ministry.
That would be
I'm not too
strange.
sure. I'm not too sure,
Who
but
are GRA under? What
and
ministry are they
Ministry of
under?
Finance.
So who are they under?
I am not too sure, but I will confirm. I'll confirm that.
This is a
You
police
see?
question, Mr.
So that's how come I didn't
It's a
want
police
to.
question. But
But you see, the presentation that we had in Parliament. You see, let's not forget.
Allow
Sorry.
Mr. Jantua.
Listen, the Minister of Finance has overall responsibility with regards to Ghana's finances. And if such a thing, Parliament has asked you to come. You call in the Auditor General. You call in all those who are responsible to
deal
make
with
sure that you can get the figures right to your office, to give you the figures, and you, being the head, are to present it to the people of Ghana.
Exactly what
So
he
you can't
tried
come
to
and
do.
tell us that auditors, what do you call it, the audit service will
will.
now come and do it. It's the responsibility of the finance minister to make sure it's done.
But you see, in this country, we have a mechanism. We have a system that works. and final audits can only take place after the event or after the end of the year.
And you're saying the
finance
minister cannot get guidance. Is that what you're telling me?
What is guidance? He has to be sure. Now you're talking about discrepancies.
Okay.
In finance matters, there are issues of what has been disbursed, what was actually spent, what was allocated. There's always discrepancies. And so you need to do a thorough reconciliation. And that's exactly what the finance minister wanted to do before he came to parliament. And that was what people thought that he was avoiding parliament. Moving on.
Allow me.
Yeah, please.
Why is it becoming difficult for the finance minister to account for both?
Difficult.
Both, yes.
He has accounted for it.
Well, minus what was donated.
He says
because,
that,
for example, I am a subscriber of NHIS. Without my approval, the NHIS made a donation to the COVID fund because I'm a member of the health insurance scheme. I was not consulted, but my money was deducted and given there. Smith.
No, I don't understand.
I'm saying I am a member by holding that card. I am a member of the scheme. I was not consulted before my money was given to. I'm coming. I have not finished my question. I'm a member of SNIT. I was not consulted before my money was given. But I have kept quiet about it because I thought that it was for a worthy cause, for all our sakes. If now monies have been spent, some of those monies were spent to procure PPE, some were spent to feed up. Why can't the finance minister be giving me the accounts of monies that have been deducted
want to tell you is that
from my account?
The NHIS was set up by an act of parliament. Senate hitherto, where Senate is to NPRA and all of that, was set up by an act of parliament. And this act states and stipulates how funds could be used. And I tell you, if the act did not permit NHIS to do such a donation onto a fund like that, I'm not sure that you could. And I am wondering whether all subscribers to a fund like the NHIS need to be consulted before the managers of the fund will take a decision. There is a system in place, and that is what empowered the management to make such donation. All I'm saying is
so you say the finance minister did nothing wrong?
Nothing, absolutely nothing wrong. He's not said that the donations are not going to be accounted for or are not going to be audited. It was set up under and such a prominent citizen of Ghana headed that fund. In time, we are going to have it audited. And now people were saying, come and account for it. Now that we have accounted for it, they are always shifting the goalpost. They're always shifting the goalpost. Look at Article 187. In time, the Auditor General will come and present his final report to Parliament, and we will interrogate whatever
would it not be in the interest
would it not be in
the interest of the government to have the Auditor General do a special audit quickly?
What is special audit? And what is the haste?
So that the element of mistrust and dishonesty which is being tagged onto the government.
Mistrust, dishonesty. Look, let's put this whole thing in proper perspective. We went through a phase that we are still even going through. Now the COVID numbers are going up. It has never happened in living memory.
So
I was in Parliament then. We are not saying that. No, nobody is saying that. We are not saying that.
What are you saying?
We are not. Even when this country was under lockdown, members of Parliament had to go to Parliament.
Parts of this country, not all of the country.
Kumasi, Parliament sits in Accra.
And Tema.
Parliament sits in Accra.
So don't say the whole country.
Even when Accra was under lockdown, members of Parliament had to brace it to ensure that we go to Parliament to get some of this.
I'm saying that,
and we are still in the situation.
I'm saying that would it not serve the government?
What is this mistrust?
Would it not serve the government's own interest for the government to impress upon the Auditor General to do a special audit?
Why do you want to go beyond what the Constitution stipulates?
Agency.
That is why agency. What is the agency?
There's a lot of suspicion.
The agency under this situation is to preserve lives. The agency under this situation is to ensure that economic activity gets back to pre-COVID times. The agency here is to protect jobs. It's to protect jobs, and that is what we actually spot out.
Hold on, but
how you spent it? That's what we have said.
But this same principles you are mentioning did not guide the health minister when he entered into the Sputnik V deal.
That was another. But he also stated. He also stated insisted that he had taken the decision at the point because the agency, the most important thing at the point is to preserve lives.
I hear you.
He
It's
said
to
that
preserve
one is another It's okay. Just stop him. It's another
Lajanta, let's go.
It's to preserve lives. I think
that was a police question. You shouldn't have answered it.
What was the police question? It is not a police question. I have answered it.
Another year.
The health master.
It will make a fine headline. Another yes, sir.
Sorry. I just wanted to say something
quickly
about the industrialization policy, Mr. Jan.
Oh no, allow him to have the mic on this one so that we can have a flow.
All right.
And then if my producers dash me time, I can give it to you.
There was something that I did not understand, and please, all of you around the table, correct me, because it's English, and I'm not sure I understand what it means, because I found that word that was used to be a discrepancy. Now, the Minister of Finance, in his statement, and I'll read one of the points that he discussed with the word in it. When you go to point 6, it says, furthermore, during the presentation of the 2020 mid-year fiscal policy, I indicated that the supplementary request included a programmed funding. What does that mean? A programmed funding of 19.3 billion from various funding sources to support the budget both directly and indirectly. On the expenditure side, an amount of 11.16 billion was programmed for COVID-19 related expenses. The difference of 8.14 billion was programmed to provide for shortfalls in revenue. What does that word programmed mean?
Programmed, it simply means the budget.
What? It's a budget.
It's a budget.
So budget is called program.
Wait. No, I'm coming. I'm coming. So I can replace that word
budget
by estimate.
Yes.
So it's an estimate.
Yes.
So the 19.3 billion we are talking about is an estimate.
At the outset, this is what he thought that we were going to. So that was what was budgeted for. So that was what we were working towards.
Okay. And so when we come and we say that government got 19.3 billion, we are wrong.
Oh, yes, you are wrong.
We are wrong.
You are wrong.
Okay.
The actual amount that
isn't clear. That isn't clear. He then goes on to say that when you look at the programmed resources, he says, with the pandemic, they tried to protect businesses and households, jobs, minimize impact of the pandemic on job losses. And he says they mobilized 18.9 billion out of the 2020 programmed 19.3 billion. So that means they took it out of the 19.3 billion. Yes?
Of the 19.3 billion that we were working towards, we actually got 18.1. That's
you
what
got 18.1.
Yes, that's what came into the kitchen.
Okay. Then the added monies that you now got from World Bank, from IMF, is all part of the 19.3 billion. So you are saying that right now you're saying you got 18.19 billion. However, those other monies that came in added up to the 19.3 billion.
No.
Okay.
I don't really get your last bit. What was it?
I'm saying that you just said that what you got out of that estimated 19.3 billion was 18.19 billion.
Possible.
Yes?
Yes.
No, I want to be sure.
It's possible. I'm saying this because you see, when you look at the figures that make up to 19.3, and when we accounted for to know that we actually got 18.1, there might even be forex movement,
right?
And we are counting in cities.
The change in
so it's a plethora of
you see,
factors.
and this is where
we are counting in cities. Most of this are in euros, in dollars, and all of that. So
this is where the discrepancy comes in. If the finance minister, with the dollars, he even converted it at a certain rate into CDs. Wait, because you had a mixture of CDs and dollars. Right. It will bring a better understanding. Because all these figures have brought discrepancies that we cannot pinpoint.
Because we don't know the rate of conversion at the time.
We don't even know. Yeah. If he had come and he had done all that, and this is why I'm saying he should have got all the institutions to sit in front of him to be done.
You see this.
Because look. The major challenge here is confidence in government.
That's right.
That's the major challenge. Trust in government is the major challenge. And these figures that have been presented do not convey that trust and confidence. Now, if they, sit, and they find even further challenges to what is presented, that becomes a huge problem for government.
If.
Okay.
That's if.
We have to go.
But
the GJA goes to polls today. About 30 seconds.
I think this is a very important election. And I think that the GJA has suffered a lot under this administration. And so they should go into the polls.
They have suffered a lot.
Yes, they have been killed. They have beaten them. They've killed them. They've beaten them under this administration.
There was a court ruling
now,
2 days ago.
Now, you must go to the polls today knowing very well that you need a leader who will not come and be in bed with the existing government. Your institution has never been an institution that must support the ruling government. There's a certain priest, Reverend Joy Asante, who said that for the church that he's spearheading, his role is to support the government.
You know, the Presbyterian moderator.
Exactly. But for you, your profession, you will never be in bed with the government.
Oh.
So look for somebody who can come and be independent. I think that person, I will point out that person for you.
Oh.
Gerhard Mensah.
Oh, you want Gerhard? Yes. But there's
because
Gerhard,
we know where it's coming from.
And then there's
Gerhard will do the work.
You support Gerhard?
Yes, Gerhard will do the work. Gerhard
because we know where it's coming from.
In this profession for a very long time.
And he has been in there.
And he has, as it were, been an advocate for good governance. I know about that. And for me, my bet is on him.
He works in Speaker Agbagbin's office.
Well, I don't know about that.
You didn't say that.
I don't know.
He said you take your bag.
I think that the process, I have not been too happy because a couple of days ago I heard that the electoral, I had to resign because of all of this. Yes. I just hope and pray that they go to the polls.
It's actually been about 2 years without.
Yeah, I mean, outstanding. I mean, it's kind of for the fourth realm of the state to be going through this. It's really not a. They hold everybody to their eyes. So I'd expected a bit more from them. However, thankfully we are at this point, and I expected that they'll go to the polls today and have a free, fair elections and may the best person
do you
win.
Do you have a candidate?
I don't know them but okay. I mean when Amaliba has a choice who we know, who we know. No, I don't want. I've not said. I said may the best candidate win.
Okay.
And when Amaliba is already associating with, we know him. I mean, he's been on our screen since some of us were quite new.
I hear you.
And so we have followed him. And we know where he is. We know where he's coming from.
I hear you.
And when he says that a GJA president should not be in bed with a sitting president, I don't know what he's talking about. Why don't journalists or media houses have their editorial policies and all of that? Are they not able to take a stand on the issues?
Okay.
So what is the challenge?
You have the final word.
The candidate that wins should make sure there's an independent fourth realm of the state. First estate of the realm. Yeah. Where you have politicians owning media houses, becomes very difficult. Where you have journalists being bought by politicians, becomes very difficult. So anybody, don't say it doesn't happen. Don't let us put our heads under the table and say it doesn't happen. It happens. Where you have a situation where the GJA president cannot talk fact to issues that are happening in the country, it causes a challenge for everybody. We should have a situation where the next president should be able to talk on behalf of the people and talk to things that aren't right that government is doing.
Thank
But
you.
they can also talk to things that are right.
Yes, they can also talk to things that are
Yes.
right. But you find that the things that aren't right overshadow the things that are right.
Okay.
So let's hope that it goes peacefully. And let's hope the best man wins. Unfortunately, there's no woman standing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
There's no woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you very much, Lawyer Kwame Jantua. He is the head of the CPP's Political Affairs Committee. He's also a private legal practitioner. He's available for your services. Fusaini Issa is a former member of parliament for the Okaikwe North constituency. He is a chartered accountant, a finance person, and a shadow deputy minister for finance.
The president should hurry up into the reshuffle.
Well,
so
that his appointment depends on the reshuffle.
Which he doesn't want to say.
Which may never come.
And then lawyer Abraham Omalba is a private legal practitioner as well as the head of the NDC's legal team and a member of the national communications team. Ambassador Sampiale sends this one. Well, Dr. Adam Bona says the ECOWAS protocol has not been ratified.
Exactly.
Well, it says technically it's ineffective. It's not been ratified.
So you
it's
see that
ineffective.
right.
Certainly, it's about time. This Ambassador
Yes.
Sampiale says certainly it's about time we split the homogeneous Ministry of Trade and in Industry. Over the last 6 years, our ministers have been engaged in cash for seats and chasing foreigners and ignoring industrial development. We started thinking of developing industries. We created a new secretariat that developed a website for 800 million cedis. We developed a sugar factory, and the government launched political propaganda to make it decay in the bush. Well, we're told that the Commander Sugar Factory would have started operating in April, where in June. That's President Akufo-Addo's own words. And the Council says, so does it mean that the government was not properly managing the disbursement of the COVID-19 funds to the extent of now calling on implementing agencies, I beg your pardon, to come and account? Did the implementing institutions not submit returns on the monies they received? If what the finance minister did not have the actual returns on the expenditure from implementation agencies or implementing agencies to know how the COVID funds were being expended, then God be with us. The only reason why MPP is hanging on the Auditor General is that they believe that they indoctrinated. Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
I cannot be part of it. Happy birthday to Sergeant Apia Cecilia of the supply depot of Bemakam. This from Daniel Oklu and all your friends. Happy birthday also to Mr. Kwame Asamoah. This is from Reynard Elijah, your son, and also your beautiful wife, Eugenia. Says, happy birthday. May the sweet influence of the Holy Spirit be yours forever. Me feel brutal. Take this A for your... And happy birthday to me, Mrs. Alice Akle Omani Mensa. You are 80 years today. It's your birthday today. And from a special someone to you, he doesn't want me to mention his name, Anita Ani Oscar Ampofwa, a.k.a. AAO. This is indeed a new beginning. Walk the earth. Happy birthday to you, Annie. I nearly said his name. I won't. Happy birthday to Portia Eresi Johnson. This is from Elvis. It says a happy birthday to you as well. Salisu here at Media General. It's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. To Derek Kwekusi of Creative Timeline. This from Percy Agbanu. And today in business, we are tracing the generational Kinke House business to see what plans the current generation has to take the business further. We'll also tell you, seek expert views on the planned Tor strategic investor. But just to let you know that the price of Kinke has gone up and the balls are shrinking. We'll see you after the break.